She is beautiful, she's childish for all you know, and apparently not to be underestimated in combat. That would be the end of you. You better count yourself lucky if you are found to be among the existing souls who need saving, else, your fate is sealed. Menat is her name. She has come to the dance arena, and she is an apprentice to Rose, Street Fighter's Italian fortune teller. Although, much details remain a complete mystery due to her status quo, new contender, there is a satisfactory notation this character brings along with her. The developers have added another character from the African descent, Egypt to be precise, and also painted a memory of a beautified mummy in battle. You got that right.
Finished growing up. The you that you are will cease to be.
But who is Menat, and why has she got her hands in the business of the battle between good and evil? Perhaps, the fortune-telling job made her change her mind. There has to be a good reason for that. For starters, Menat is an overly sweet girl who wants only to please her master, in every way possible. And she is also sweet in combat. If Street Fighter developers wanted something a bit off their rails in order to make players see a new perspective, Menat is undoubtedly amongst such characters. Forget fighting with legs and hands and try fighting with super cool powers, like a mutant or magic. The coming of Menat has brought in a different ball game altogether. We are still far from having to experience real jinxing with superhuman abilities in the gaming world at least, but our admirable developers are working on it.
That takes care of one errand. You know, come to think of it, what was it that Master told me? Oh, I remember. Fit is a fixed line. However, it is not considered foolish to resist it. It's never too late to resign oneself to one's fate, even from beyond the grave. Yeah, that's it. Master's so cool! Oops, I still have errands left to tend to.
As pointed out earlier, she wishes to do as her master says, and her personal companion, the Mystic Orb, also known as the Left Eye of the Line, directs her. Throughout her encounter with her contenders and her prophecy to them, she bears the burden of telling the fortunes to whom she is directed to. She is also brave, too brave to consider battling a team of the notorious Shadaloo Sliders and their commander-in-charge A-Prime. She wanted to warn them by all means. She never cared if she would get hurt or captured in the process. This is an impressive feat to prove she's more than just one-man army, as with single combat.
Be forewarned, this power will lead everyone to great disaster! Well, now I've warned you, be sure to tell your boss.
Fate nearly brought her to the big, bad wolf, Bison, and could have brought her even dangerously toe-to-toe with the general. Recall that Menat, probably a naive, young apprentice, always wanted nothing more but to please Rose, and her crystal ball directs her. Guess the last person the orb directed her to, Bison. Previous encounters with the likes of Ed and went as was instructed from her master. Save only the most important, as with Menat's Street Fighter story mode. Fate is a tricky thing though. She wasn't able to directly confront the general and warn him of his impending doom. She was able to pass the message nevertheless to the lower-ranked, annoying Shadaloo Soilders, reluctantly. What exactly is Menat's role in the Street Fighter universe? Is her job just all about warning people about their impending doom and disappearing right away? Or does it include also seeing right away that this doom is averted for the good-hearted and for the mischievous? They change their ways, or she stops their evil schemes? This question seems unclear at the moment, or maybe even misunderstood at the present. There is, however, a substantial evidence that there may be more to Menat than her fortune-telling and defense skills for evasion in the Street Fighter V series. Who troops into the heat without having some ace that equates such dicey situations? Capcom might probably reserve that spot for Rose? We like to imagine the little girl's fortune babbling gets Bison on a second thought. There's a guarantee. His interest might be keened up when he learns of this new fortune teller is affiliated with no light personality than Rouse.
A fortune teller. Fate is a fixed line, eh? Interesting. To resist and change one's fate, that is what comes from true power.
Rose no doubt might have garnered enemies in her fortune-telling. Enemies to which Menat became part of, the moment she signed up to be Rose's acolyte. Bison could as well rank the top in the list. As the saying goes, if you can't get to the enemy, let the enemy get to you. We believe Bison didn't get to his majestic level of evileness without making irresistible propositions to his current guards, and is still trying to recruit more to stay one step ahead of his antagonists. Perhaps this time, his plans could include becoming a master of fate, and to deflect the warnings of the future to his own favor, which means having one who can foresee the future. It would take ages for the likes of the teacher to pay attention to such proposition, but what about the student? This could be the scenario Menat could find herself in, if such offer were to be brought to her. We know she strives to please her master, but her loyalties is uncertain. The job of being a fortune teller and making some cash out of it, meaning that she could be bought off at any time, or on a personal level. It is unlikely that this Egyptian eyes of the future will ever agree to that if faced with such situation. Like Rouse, Menat wields the soul power and also uses the orb in her combat, combined with some minute dance-like movements and twists much like that of Tekken's mystic character, Zafina. Her skills which Zafina lacks include an over-the-average level of fighting with the orb's powers and a short varied parried kicks and grasps. She also has her moveset carved very differently from that of Rose, maybe a little lower, but she is just as great as any other fighter. Well, we could look forward to seeing Menat having an independent role when the time comes, as her background origin is very different from Rose Italians, of which Menat was originally supposed to come from.
I shall present your prophecy! You already know that! I told you, Mr. Hermit. My master has sent you an urgent warning. One body can no longer contain such evil power.
I already knew about that. And now, be it for good or evil, those beings who are bound to that fate are starting to move ever closer to one another.
Yes, that's it! Also, she said that the end results of this battle of destiny are to be carefully observed.
So that's what you came here to tell me?
Yes. I was sent by my master to inform all parties that are involved. I sense something incredible is locked inside you.